Who have I got? Hi, Carmen. Hi, Elizabeth and... Oh, sorry. Hi, Sarah and Rebecca. Not Elizabeth. My mistake. Let me see who I've got. Hi, Joe, Tim, Teresa. Oh, Sunny. Lisa, Barbara, Kim, Hadrian. Hello, Boston. John, Erin, Linda. Hello, everybody. Hi, Jaguar. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Gregory. Nice to see you guys. How are you all? We've got about a minute until we're started. As you can see, it's pretty sunny. The sky is lovely and blue. Let me turn you around. Do another little hello in a second. Lifeguard, bionic drink. I'm not all bundled up, actually. This is the first time I'm not wearing a coat outside for a tour. I just have a scarf on. I'm not all bundled up. Lovely blue for my journal this week. Are you seeing a sky? The moment you see a sky on my tour, you think, that's for the journal. I like it. Okay, hello everybody. Nice to see you. It's exactly the start time, so I'll say hello. I think there's over 100 bookings for this, so it'd be cool if over 100 people come, but I've got a feeling they won't. We'll see though. Hi Danette, hi Sandy. So we're together for 75 minutes or so. I hope you'll have a lovely time with me. Let me take this dastardly thing off for a second. Hello. I don't have my coat on today. It is a little chilly, but it's 10 a.m, so it's going to get warmer later. I also finish work at close to 10 p.m, so I'm going to get colder later. But I've got a thick scarf and just kind of a lovely top, so I'm excited to be wearing that. Now, I imagine that some of you probably missed my tour the other day from Hina Matsuri, Girls' Day. So this is for you guys. This is basically a recap tour. I don't want to make some people run away from the tour because it's still going to be very good. And this is a very rare opportunity. And I'm still going to show you things that you haven't seen before. So if you didn't come on part 1 of that 2-hour special, this is basically a recap of that. And we're going to go upstairs in one of the buildings that basically I totally forgot to go upstairs in. And it's got loads of other totally different, lovely little dolls, which will be really, really nice. So I hope you'll join me. Hi, Lorraine. Nice to see you. Thank you so much to my sponsors who are here. It's so nice to see you guys. Hi, Jane and KL and Jean. It's nice to see all of you, of course. So I hope that if you came to part 1, you see some extra things and you're happy and you hear the birdies and capture some different moments because I'm walking from a slightly different direction as well, and get to see upstairs in that second house I went to. And if you're getting ready for part 2, then I hope this one refreshes your memory. My signal is great and my microphone seems to be great. So if you have got a problem, please refresh because I've got 100% of everything. I'm 200% full. So thank you very much for coming. If you have any questions, you may feel free to ask them. This will still be information heavy, but perhaps not in the same way. I'm real sorry. I don't know if Gregory is agreeing. He's saying same here. Linda's saying sound off. Everyone's saying half and half. So based on the amount of things that happen on a Heygo app, I'm going to have to ask you guys to do your refreshing because I've never seen such lovely 100% signal this consistently this early. So sorry, lovely. Hello. There you go. Wasn't working, but now it is. Excellent. You guys are fine. Have I already taken a wrong turn? That's no good. Right, bear with me. I'm afraid I've got a lot on my mind. So just a second. I think I meant to go down that little street over there. Try not to cause a problem for myself, but definitely follow the nice, slightly older ladies is the thing to do. And try and look for temple roofs. That's probably the thing to do. Okay. Kenji says, I think the web version was off. The app was working well, surprisingly, which is, yeah, that's funny. It's made me laugh a little bit. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. What mountain is that? A big green one. That's my answer. I'm afraid you guys have got the map. That might not be a very professional tour guide answer, but I am not here to show off the mountains. So we are in Gokasho in Higashi-Omi, which is part of the Omi Hachiman part of Japan. Shiga, it's very famous and well known for such socialites, samurai warlords as Oda Nobunaga and such. So sorry I don't have the answer for what mountain that is. I guess I can look at my own map right now. I'll see what I can do. Hi Trisha, hi Terry. Always good for a laugh. Yeah, I really thought I got off at the right stop. Anyway, Mount Yasuo from the map. Thank you very much. That helps me a lot because of course I'm holding my notes, an extra phone, my gimbal, it's all a bit much. And my mind is very distracted on a lot of real life things that are pretty difficult for me, but I will not go into them, but it's difficult. And I have new nails that are cherry blossoms, so you can enjoy them next to these plum blossoms. Jaguar is working on a big report about Japan's history, so thought this might help. It is very lovely. Thank you, Kate C. Says my nails are so lovely. Lovely. Mount Yasuno. It's a big mountain range, actually, isn't it? So we're in Gokasho, which is actually really, really old merchant part of this town. But I got off at the same bus stop I always get off at. And I seem to be in a totally unknown spot, so I don't know what we can do about that. But have a lovely walk around the town is what I'm going to call it. Look at these thatched roofs. Now, you don't normally see these so close to the city in Japan. That's wonderful. Thank you, Patty. It's very, very kind of you. Sandy's made me laugh a little bit because she said any koi in the gutter. She hasn't said stream, she just said gutter. Sorry. Hi, Sue. I realise you're not trying to make me laugh by saying gutter. I know that was just a little slip of the tongue, but gutter makes it sound very, I don't know, dirty. So all the way around Japan, especially in these merchant house areas, you see lots of little streams outside the houses, and it's because they were used for washing a long, long time ago. You'd see evidence of that in places like, you'd see evidence of things like that in places like the UK as well. Oh, wonderful. My mummy is here. Now, this tour that I'm doing is a repeat of my second and third ever tour. So this hasn't happened for a whole year, a year minus 1 week. And my mum was there, and I think she took more postcards than ever known. Probably not as bad as that. She took about 400, and I was over the moon. But the birds sound lovely. Signs of life over that way, which is good. So we're here to see a couple of merchant houses. I'm going to pay to take you into two of them. The same ones we went into the other day for part one. This is not part two. Let me just alert you to part two. This is a kind of recap for those of you that are in America and didn't want to stay up super late the other day. This is part two. This is the one you want to keep an eye on. And this is at the same kind of time as this is starting. It might be exactly the same time. And that will mean you get to see two totally different merchant houses. Hi. Nice to see you, Mummy. I'm stressing out wildly about costs of trying to get to Japan after I go to the UK. I've bought a ticket to the UK, but the cost is astronomical and it's making me sad. Astronomical. That's a fact. I don't think anyone can take more postcards than Dawn. True. So, would you like to go in? Maybe let's go in the other merchant house first. Right. This is one of the merchant houses. It's got a gorgeous garden. I might give you a little look through the gorgeous garden, but I think I'm going to take you into the second one first so that we can really focus on the upstairs, because the upstairs is new to all of you. But these houses have wonderful, wonderful gardens, which I think you'll agree is gorgeous. Yes, Dawn, airfare is so much more. Airfare is so much more than even in November. In November, I could get a flight for about £300, and now it's £500, £550 for my single back to the UK, which is not too much of a problem. But to come back to Japan, it's going to be £1,000. And I'm talking about the cheapest flights, as in 24 to 40-hour flights, the cheapest ones. So it's pretty horrible. Little baby there. And don't worry, guys, we're still on a treasure hunt. We've still got these lovely little dolls to find all the way around here. Yeah, the flights are very expensive, and it's hurting my feelings because I live in a tiny one-room place. I live in a little one-room place by myself. I don't have a family. I don't have a car. I don't have any Apple products because I can't afford all of those things. And so getting flights is hurting my feelings. Yeah, it's making me cry. And Dawn, please, I don't need suggestions from anybody. I've invested 20 hours of looking into costs of flights and things, and a return does not make it cheaper. It makes it the same price as buying two singles. But thank you. I appreciate your well-meaningness. Right, this is a lovely little temple that we didn't get to see the other day. That's all right, lovely. I know you're not trying to upset me, but I hope you can probably hear it in my voice. It's a source of great stress. So if you're wondering why I'm on edge today, that's why. They have gone up a lot because of gas prices. But gas companies have been making 5 times more money than usual. Mad, isn't it? Anyway, the other day we came to this little town to experience Hina Matsuri, which is a special day for girls in Japan. So that happens on the 3rd of March. We're not here. The Banks is not the 3rd of March anymore. The architecture is wonderful, isn't it? And it's actually a cultural heritage site, all of the architecture in this area, because it belonged to really old merchant houses. Do you see these big white buildings here? You don't see them so often when we're walking around Japan with other guides, unless they go to an old town. And these are old storehouses and things. Hi, Penelope. Hi, Chelsea. So I think down this way is the way I want to go. Yeah, it's really, really gorgeous. So excuse me, yeah. My mind's a bit clouded today, but we're going to have a look at the pretty koi in the stream, not the gutter. The gutter is where my mind is, Linda. The stream is where the koi are. I'm going to find a couple of these lovely cuties out and around. Hi, Marianne. Nice to see you. I'm going to make the most. That's all right, Marianne. Where's everyone? In the gutter. Oh, look at this. You know I love a little bit of ceramics. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm trying to get that tap out of the way. I've learned that apparently people in America call this a faucet. I mean, I always knew that was the technical term for it. I just didn't know people actually called it a faucet. Look at this. It's the back of some big merchant houses. Look at those warehouses. They're wonderful. Those dolls are representations of the Emperor and Empress. Thanks, Memphis, Stephen. My option is going to be stopping off in Dubai, actually. But I don't really want to talk about it much because people have been giving me loads of suggestions about who to meet and what to do, but I'm already on it. So it looks like I might be getting a holiday in Dubai, but it means that my flights to the UK and back, the whole cost is close to £2,000, which I don't have. But I'm gonna use it, and I'll just never have a house and never have a child. Who cares? Yeah, thanks. It's a house bib. Hose bib. I thought it was a faucet. The roofs are really gorgeous, aren't they? Nothing like a blue sky in Japan, am I right? Who's coming with me to see the ume blossoms in Ikone on my Monday? Look, I found a new one. We're on a treasure hunt to spot these little ones. So we've got the Emperor and Empress. almost 400 years ago, little representations of these were created, but they're much more fancy. We're going to see really fancy ones in a bit. Thanks, Elaine. I appreciate those words. She just said, thanks for sharing with us. Who puts these dolls around town? The fairies do. The fairies do, don't they? The dolls are made of a kind of clay and wood. It depends on them. It depends. Come on, little guys. Let's get a little focus. Focus. Nope. You're not getting those in focus. Oh, there you are. Ta-da! No. Thank you very much, Memphis Stephen. Stephen. Sorry, I've already looked at all of that. I've spent 20 hours instead of doing my taxes and other important things. So please know I'm internet savvy. I've used Skyscanner. I've looked on 10 independent websites, 5 linking websites, and so on. Thank you so much, though. I'm already aware of all of the possible links, and I'm close to tears with the cost. So we'll leave it. Try and get you guys some lovely pictures along the way. My name is MissKendalJames, and I'm an artist that's been living in Japan for almost 3.5 years. It's cool. I love it here. But I will be very happy. Oh, these ones are new from the other day. We didn't see these the other day. I will be happy to get away for a bit of the summer because the summer is hot, hot, hot. So who wants to come on tours of the UK with me? Don't scare me, Kenji. So Delana lives in Japan too. And so the other day she put in the chat, taxes are due at 3, and then she put dot and 15. And I'm like, what? I thought I had until next week. She meant the 15th of March. Thank goodness. Now let me change the angle and see if I can get you on a little run through these guys down here. Okay. I'm going to go for a little run, okay? Aren't they cute? They're little bamboo it is already hollowed out, but the bamboo has had, it's been turned into a little boat for the dolls. These dolls are made of cloth, but the dolls that we'll see are made of all kinds of different things, namely ceramics. Look, we get power cables in a reflection. Now, if you haven't been on my tours before, then you won't know that power cables are a bit of an obsession of mine. I really, really love them, and this one is no exception. Look, hanging out in the riverside. Linda would travel anywhere with me. It's probably a little bit biased because she already loves my voice and loves the UK. I swear people have been changing these around. I'm not sure who puts them out, but it's going to just be townspeople. All around Japan, there are people working in the community to make everything lovely for everybody. And usually it's the older residents that do that, but some younger ones too. You can usually see them on Saturdays, so I expect that's what happens here. But this town is only really active for a solid month of the year. However, I have just noticed that there is an Ajisai park as well. Ajisai, it says paradise, I think. Ajisai is hydrangea, so I might be coming back here for hydrangeas. It takes a little getting to here. You can probably see on the map. I'm quite far from home for me. My home is in Moriyama, which is about 25 minutes from Kyoto, and we're about 25 minutes from that. Just the townspeople make these dolls. It might seem special to you, and that it is to me too, but it's a pretty normal practice in Japanese life to make little traditional things that represent cultural important things in the past. But hi, Felicia. It would be interesting to see how they manicure the tall trees. They do it with a ladder system and also ropes and things, but not the ropes that are the power cables right there. Konnichiwa. This is what we're here to see today. little bit shy as the representative comes by. So this is what we're here to see today. I had to cancel this tour originally because I was a bit silly. There's a list of dates on here that it says it's going to be closed for, and most of them are Mondays. So sorry about the rescheduling of this, but thank you very much for being here. So this is a doll that represents the Empress, or you could say Princess or Queen, you choose, but we say Empress. Not that Empresses are allowed to be the main rulers, unfortunately, and they haven't ever in history, but that is Japan's prerogative. But we're going to go inside. The signal is not so good downstairs, but I think it's going to be much better upstairs. So sorry if the signal cuts out a little bit, but it does seem to be a perfect signal day. I might have been blessed by the Hina Matsuri dolls for putting on a couple of great tours the other day. So I think it's about 400 yen a ticket. I bought a set of 4 tickets the other day, but it doesn't count for going back into this house. So I hope that you will join me. I think there's a little garden view from the top. So I'll show you the garden view from the top, and I'll read to you about the merchant house as well. And then I'm going to tell you about the dolls as we go inside. The dolls are when we see them, they're between about 30 and 350 years old. I think we're going to see some of the oldest ones at the top. And as you can see just here, this is a little wash area that's linked to the little streams outside that I said are in old Japanese merchant houses. And you might have seen them in old English towns and things too. And there's a fantastic old kitchen in this space as well. So I look forward to showing you that too. And then we'll go see the koi and the temple. And I think, at very least, walk through the garden of that first house that we went to. Just a shorter recap tour today. Thank you, Tibia, for giving me a follow. Now, while I've got your attention, if you're going to give me a follow, I'm going to release a couple of tours for this. I didn't get time to do it yesterday because of all that stuff that's stressing me out, but I'll be doing it later today. Please come and see the biggest, most dangerous festival, one of the most dangerous festivals in Japan, and one of the most exciting festivals in Japan, full stop. And it's linked to Oda Nobunaga, the most famous samurai warlord in all of Japan from days of old. So do consider joining me for that when I make those tours. Sorry I'm a little bit late doing it. I only decided I could fit it in yesterday, and I've been a bit too busy. So out here in the garden, look, every day they put the dolls outside, but after I did my tour the other day, they'd moved the dolls inside again. And they're very, very sweet. So if you follow me on Instagram, if you go on linktr.ee/MissKendalJames, over time, when I get the time, which is who knows when, you'll get to see loads of really close-up pictures of these. And also if you follow me on my Heygo channel and so on too, I post special pictures to my sponsors, but also to everybody. Thank you very much for sharing that. Look at all your little happy faces. Thanks, Carmen. Okay. Oh, here are the prices. 400 yen, not so much. It's 1,000 yen for 3, but I've only got time for 1 or 2 today. And this is the one. This is the one we should be going in first. So I got my monies here. Let's see. Konnichiwa. Ohayou gozaimasu. Koko dake. Onegai shimasu. 400 yen. Hai. And also, thank you, Mummy, for my sponsors as well. If anyone would like them, I'll be posting these to you. Something like this about the merchant houses, and also this flyer. I've gathered some of them for some of you. So if you are a sponsor and you're interested in those, let me know, and I will post them to you with your spring daffodil card.
はい、どうぞ。
ありがとうございます。でも準備しました。はい、ありがとうございます。
英語の解説書ございますよ。
はい、持ちます。
そうです。はい。
持っています。
持っておられる？
はい。
はいはい。
ありがとうございます。
はい、どうも。
So bear with me. Silly one-hand situation. The mobile display is wonderful, isn't it? Now I'm going to get you close up to have a good look around this whole house. But the other day we didn't go upstairs, okay? So I'll be taking you upstairs. They haven't changed the date from yesterday, which is very sweet. Linda, I don't think that's the point. She was admiring the mobiles too and was thinking how her cats would love them. So let's sit in the garden for just a little second, because I'm going to read to you about this merchant house. I've already prepared about 20 pages of notes, which happen on my main special tours. So part 2 that's coming, please look in the chat to see the information about that. And today is a recap, so you'll still get lots of information, but the Kendall Conversation heavy one is coming up on Friday next week. That'll be the last weekend you can view these lovely dolls and things. This is a little garden party display. Luna doesn't care. It's her world. She lets us all in it. Well, that's adorable. Right, let me read to you about this one. We are in... Let me double check. Yep, no problem. Hi, everyone. Hi, Anna. Hi, Olympia. Hi, Rose and Jane. Nice to see you guys. We are in the Shigeru Tonomura merchant house. This branch of the Tonomura family was established when the Ihe Tonomura's daughter, Miwa, married Kichitaro. Miwa was from the 4th generation of the Uhie Tonomura family. After working at the Kyoto branch of the head house of the Uhie, Kichitaro became independent and opened a wholesale dry goods store in Nihonbashi and Takodanobaba, that's a rare name, in Tokyo. This mansion has a large main building and warehouse where the family, Banto clerks, and Jochu, main servants, lived. It was the principal residence of the Omi merchants in Gokasho. In addition, the drawing room and vast garden were used as reception areas to entertain guests. Thank you very much, Olympia, for following me. Shigeru Tonomura was born in 1902, which is Meiji 35, the Meiji Emperor, year 35, and was the 3rd son in his family. He briefly succeeded the family business, but in 1933, which is Showa 8, entrusted his younger brother to manage it. He then moved to Asagaya in Tokyo and devoted his energy into writing novels, something he had wanted to do since graduating from university. His Ikara and Raft trilogy, in which Omi merchants are the theme, is highly regarded. The house where he was born is now permanently preserved as an Omi merchant mansion and is open to the public. The life of the Omi merchant is well represented and depicted here. So I hope you can get a nice sense of all those years ago. The Omi merchant's age was at the beginning of the Edo period, which was almost 400 years ago now, from 1635. And you know what? You know what I'm loving? I'm from the UK, and so my history generally is that of great kings and queens of Victorian, Edwardian, and Tudor times, and so on. But I'm really loving having a new timeline in my life, because as I grew up as a child, I literally thought the only timeline was that of what I was taught in school, which was when I was in younger school, that was basically Egyptians, Greeks, and then the British came. What? That's not how it goes. So I'm really happy to be a grown-up and have some different timelines in my head, although there are some quite devastating timelines in the whole world, aren't there? So while we're here, let me show you around a little bit. I had the pleasure the other day of getting to look right up close next to these, and I can take you guys over there as well, but these shoes down here are lethal. They're lethal because they're wooden on the bottom, and the pebbles, the stones in the garden, are rounded on top, and it's just a little bit scary, but I'll see what I can do. Anyway, this is a map of the area, and this is what I've saved for my sponsors that are so inclined to have those sent to them, if you would like. Inside it's got some more information, and if you use Google Translate, you can translate this yourself. There are 6 Omi merchant houses, but 4 are open this year for us to have a look in. We went into the first one the other day for quite a long time and enjoyed the beautiful garden that I showed you a bit of earlier. And today we're in this second one here that I just told you about, which is called the Shigeru Tonomura Merchant House. So they're named after the merchant that owned the house. And if you come with me to, this is not part 2, this is just a recap tour, not just that, but this is we'll go to these 2 houses, or this one and this one, on Friday next week with me, which will probably be your Thursday night if most of you are in America and Canada and so on and so forth. If you're in Asia and the Pacific, then welcome and thank you very much for being here. Here is my little ticket. This is pretty cool. I paid $400 to get into this one. Thank you very much, Mum, for tipping me, so that that contributes towards the ticket. Thank you very much. And I get a special ticket just for this one. So you guys know where that's going, don't you? Straight into my journal in the future. Okay, let me just stack you guys here. It looks like the signal's being nice and well behaved for us, which is wonderful. Let me get my thingies in order. Let me show you what old merchant families would have looked like. So we're going to get a fantastic view of this garden from the top, actually. In Japanese homes, so I'm really keen on Japanese architecture, everything is designed as a viewpoint to the next space, or as a means of making the space more practical so that humans can use it more effectively, and especially in accordance to the seasons, because the seasons change quite dramatically in Japan, from very, very cold and icy to very, very warm. And you can imagine that creates moisture issues in the air. Okay, let's get me up. Ooh. You love seeing the gardens traditional and beautiful. I'm going to see if I can... Oh no, I don't think I really want to walk in these. They're a bit rocky underneath. It looks like my grandma's feet now. Hi, Tyron. So we're going to see similar to this inside. I'll take you upstairs first. Lovely old style emperor and empress there. These dolls are very, very old. I think about 150, maybe a bit older. I'm going to check the sign upstairs. And we've got musicians and attendants, ladies in waiting, of course, bringing the sake, of course. It's a very rocky situation. Okay. And here, this is lovely. This is a view I'm going to get you from the top in a minute. So you might as well see it from up here. You can imagine me doing my Romeo pose. Linda, they're moved inside and outside throughout the day. Last week, they were moved back inside at 4 p.m. or so. 1 second. What I'm going to do... Oh my goodness. If I fall over, it's because of these shoes, okay? No, I can't do it. What I wanted to do was take you around the outside, but I don't feel safe enough in the shoes. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll go upstairs first. We have it all to ourselves today. But just before I go upstairs, I'll get you a close-up of these properly after, okay? But I just want you to see for comparison, okay? These dolls are much more elaborate and ornate. Why are they moved? Since being so old, not just to stop them from being damaged. We're in Gokasho, which is actually twinned with Michigan's Marquette in America. So if anyone lives anywhere near Marquette, which might be kind of small city, but Shiga in general has many, many sister cities with Michigan in America. So if that's interesting to you, that's wonderful. And I can tell you a bit more about that in a moment. Thank you, Marianne. Yeah, I opted for safety. Now let's go up, up, up. Let me lower my mask because it's horrible wearing a mask and going upstairs. Here you go. Maybe we can see the next part of the garden from here. Yeah. And we're blessed with good signal. And you can also see storehouses there. So the dolls that were outside were put outside to look like they were having a garden party in celebration of the royal family, the emperor and the empress. And the dolls, one of the reasons they were created originally was to actually foster fondness for that imperial family. Okay, so let's try and get you full impact. It's so pretty, isn't it? You might disagree in a windy, cold winter and in a hot summer. Linda's asked if this is a regular home or a museum. This was a regular home that is now used as a museum. And yes, Stephanie, you most certainly could meditate here. What do you think? Are you getting garden party vibes down there? It does look like a painting, and that's part of the idea of both the gardens and the viewpoints from the houses in Japanese gardens. But they're quite wonderful. In a few days, I'm taking you to Genkyu-en Garden in Hikone, next to the castle. So do come and experience a bit more about Japanese gardens in Japan then. Thank you, Mindy, for following me, and everyone else who's followed me too. So in Japanese houses, you can see that there are sections through the middle where sliding doors are moved backwards and forwards to create more appropriate spaces for people. And actually, there's such minimal furniture in any of the rooms. You see there's just a table here. And these days, in a house that is lived in by modern people, that would be a kotatsu, which is a big table which has an electric heater underneath it, and a big blanket comes out. And in modern houses that represent old houses, you also see a pit down in the middle, which is for you to sit in while the whole area underneath gets heated up, which is really, really wonderful. I'm sorry, Jaguar says, this is making me sleepy. Now, let's get a look at some of these wonderful dolls over here. After all, that's what we're here for. I'm going to take my bag off so that I can chill a little bit, because it's a little bit of effort. 1 second, excuse me. Shaking everything around. If you hear peculiar sounds underfoot, it's the grass tatami. This is dried grass. It's quite wonderful. You see different ages. They fade to being almost white over time, and they start off as green, and they smell lovely. Popularity because the royals know how to party. Yes, they do. Would they plan houses according to feng shui? Well, that is a Chinese method, but there are lots of crossovers in Chinese and Japanese culture. But a lot of things are in relation to Buddhism or Shintoism. And in Japanese homes, the Shintoism aspect is exactly why you see so many kind of portals that look out towards different elements of the garden, which have nature outside. And sometimes when Japanese people eat certain foods and things for festivals, they face in certain directions to give thanks to certain gods. But I've never read anything directly in accordance with feng shui in these particular merchant houses, I'm afraid. But we often have a scroll in the middle It's definitely minimalism before it was popular. And normally this would be where an ikebana display goes. But at these particular merchant houses in Gokasho, they prepare these dolls in January, and then they remove them. These will be removed and tidied away, ready for the end of next week. So they've got 2 more weekends left. Now, these dolls in particular are from 1751 to 1764. I'm going to get you some close-ups, but I've just noticed I might be able to read a specific bit of information. Let me get my translator out just here, because I won't be able to read all of that fast enough. I can't read all the kanji anyway. Bear with me. Okay. Created in the Edo period around 1751 to 1764. These Hina dolls were made from court nobles' costumes, and the layout is based on the history of the court. It has been called this since the Meiji period. There are also Hina dolls with different outfits, such as formal clothes and regular clothes. And it was originally made by special order from a court noble. So this one was a commission, this whole collection here. Now, one second, let me get... Hi, John, nice to see you. Let me get a little close-up on some of their lovely, lovely faces. Dawn, I've stayed in some hotels in Japan that have a section with the tatami for sleeping and a section for a normal bed. You choose which you prefer. That's true. They have Western Japanese style things. Hiya, nice to see you. John, I think it might be you that wanted to, you became a sponsor so that you could get the flyers and things that I collected. Don't forget to send me your address if you're hoping to get those. I think you just signed up for 1 month, but you can still have those because I think you signed up to try and get the flyers. That's no problem. Hello, ... Did you say that in answer to a question? Yep. I don't know if you were on my first tour, or maybe you were, but I know lots of you know lots about Japanese culture. So yes, the reason their faces are white is because of purity. In Japan, white is a symbol of purity, and it also wards off evil. But clean, innocent, and pure, generally, is understood in many cultures, actually. But before you ask too many questions, I've still got lots to tell you. So these dolls were first came into light about almost very close to 400 years ago, and they were created for the emperor's daughter at the time. But when she was old enough to sit upon the throne, she declared Hina Matsuri, Girls' Day, an official day of celebration in Japan. And everyone started to have these lovely dolls. Now, we're going to see a different tier of them in a moment, but these ones are the ladies in waiting, as I know lots of you know very, very well. And then we have the emperor and empress. Over here we have the musicians. The one holding the fan is the singer. The other ones are holding a Japanese flute and a mini little taiko drum, 2 little drums, and and a big one too. Taiko is the name of a Japanese drum. I thought there might be a little something else, but there isn't. No, this isn't my personal collection. You're halfway through the tour, I'm afraid. This is a collection that was commissioned by a wealthy, noble person a long, long time ago. And these ones here, notice they don't have they don't have white faces. They've got slightly pink faces, and they're representing different general people that are having a nice time drinking, and they literally represent anger, happiness, and sorrow while drinking. The many stages of grief through realizing that your bottle of wine is nearly finished. Okay, I'm going to take you around to look at another set. Oh, sorry, that was And high blood pressure, exactly, yeah. That was me pulling on my microphone cable by accident, sorry. And we've also got a really lovely kimono up over here. Just a second. You know what? I'm going to read from my own notes rather than the ones I was reading from the other day, mostly. So Hina Matsuri happens on the 3rd of March every year. These little ones are the oldest, by the way. Probably tell a little bit. And the festival is said to bring prosperity and luck to girls, while also fostering respect for the throne. I think this one's very nice if I get up close. Look at that coy little face. It's so sweet. I'll tell you more about the symbolism and some of the things too. So in 1687, Hina Matsuri officially became a holiday. However, the earliest record of the dolls is in 1625. Dolls became very expensive and steps were added to keep the highest ones away from children. Let me give you an example of that just through here. 1 second. I've got to get all of my stuff. Okay, let's go through this secret little space. Ta-da. These are the tiers that you will usually see the dolls on. And here I can see a really beautiful one at the top. These are a little bit newer, Meiji era, I think about 130 years old. So the earliest record of the dolls is in 1625, and dolls became very expensive and steps were added to keep the most expensive ones away from children. Of course, no worries of any thefts, Linda. This is Japan. Stealing does happen, but definitely not commonly, and very rarely culturally important artifacts are stolen. Not to say it doesn't happen, but yeah, it's an old Singer sewing machine. I'll show you in a moment. So we didn't see this room the other day, but you might have seen it a year ago with me, just once. So back then, some of the dolls were actually up to 1 meter in height, and they had to add restrictions to prevent such ludicrousy as 1 meter tall dolls. And this whole set is called a Hina Kazari, and is on a stand called Hinadan. And usually the stands are 3, well, they could be 1, 3, or 5. I'll just get your portrait shot. 3, 2, 1. 1, 3, 5, or 7 steps tall. And those are really important numbers in Japan. You can't, for example, you can't go for the number 4, 3, 2, 1, because that represents death. So you definitely don't want that. You don't want 9 because that represents death too. And children were celebrated at those particular ages, 3, 2, 1, because a long time ago there was so much disease and not the same kind of healthcare that children didn't often make it past those ages. 3, 2, 1. So there's even a special day in November, late November, where children are celebrated when they are those ages, because it's important. It means that your family can continue to grow, and if the child has made it past those crucial years where their immune system is being built up, then chances are they'll live to adulthood, which is lucky and important. What happens if a child is born on the 9th and 4th? Well, nothing, because all of it is superstition. I guess there could be some placebo effect, as in you think the child is cursed, but you instead are just treating them unkindly because you believe in the superstition of them being less fortunate because they're born on a 4th or 9th something. Elaine says, I'm a bit jelly. You're jealous of me being here, of the sewing machine, of the dolls? The number 8 in, I think in Buddhism is important because it represents eternity because of the way that it is an infinite loop. But I don't hear anything in particular in Japanese culture that means that 8 is important. The 15th, I have no idea. I'm afraid I'm not the fortune-telling section of a newspaper, everybody. I love you, but if I say anything about these numbers that you guys are giving me, I'm just going to be making it up. So leave a tip and I will give you a fortune. If you'd like a handmade fortune on the spot, no problem. Now, each of these, that's how it works. Otoshidama, I think they call it in Japanese, a little lucky fortune. So at the top, you see Emperor and Empress, sometimes with a wonderful awning and often with gold screens behind. That's true, Ken, but I do like to put my tours on YouTube, and there are some right know-it-alls on YouTube who'd be like, what did she say? That's not true. I lived in Japan for 4 years and I don't want that. So if you missed the first full tour of this, you can actually catch that on YouTube. It's available for you now, and you can watch the other one live next week. So musicians, ladies in waiting, dishing out lots and lots of lovely, lovely sake. Here we have little balls of mochi. Sorry, my hand's squeezing into the screen. But little mochi balls in pink and white, which represent spring. Spring and the blossoms in both bud and full bloom. But also represents fertility, using red and white as well, for purity and blood, of course. Thank you very much. There's my YouTube. Yeah, I'm MissKendalJames on everything. Jaguar, there's a simple way to make mochi. Have you got glutinous rice flour? You just mix that with water and put it in the microwave if you want to make the simple version. Or you can make the deadly version while you slap rice into a bowl numerous times until it gets all stodgy. Oh, lovely, Jaguar. You can do it. Here we have 5 musicians in the middle, and then the drunken enjoyers and a couple of cleaners at the bottom too. And also that for the emperor himself, he will have some of these gents that are defending him too with the arrows. Now, let me continue here. The Hina Ningyo is doll. And actually the kanji for doll is nin for person and gyo for form, shape. Ningyo. And in turn, there is a very important thing that happens to dolls after they have been loved for so long. Because if you imagine, there are so many of these wonderful dolls in Japan. You can't just keep them all forever, can you? I mean, you could. But at some point, you should probably say goodbye to them. And you can't just throw away something whose name is human form, can you? It just doesn't feel right. And of course, linked to yet more superstition, not least because these dolls are said to keep away bad luck. So the idea is that if you have these dolls in your home, then all of the bad luck and bad energy that is in your home will actually be transferred into the dolls. So the dolls are little containers for all of the bad energy. And if you've ever had a lovely time playing with dolls and experiencing the childlike excitement of making your own stories and affections of looking after something like a sweet little doll, and I'm sure you can understand that. And in turn, when you are too old or the doll has been in your family for generations, what do? You can't just put the doll in the dustbin, can you? 1 second. Yes, I do. 1 minute. Hello, everybody. Hi, Julie. Hi, Ellen. Hi, April and Justin. Nice to see you guys. Let me rest this one down here. There we go. So at the end of a doll's life, and this is any doll, I'm talking your stuffed teddy bear, your Barbie doll, anything you've got, all of these dolls. Okay, first, nice picture. You saw this the other day, some of you. 2 nice pictures. Here you go. You say thanks to them. You can take them to a shrine or you can take them to a temple. Usually temples are related to death. Shrines are related to life. That is shrines for Shintoism, temples for Buddhism. But you can take anything you like to any doll that you like to one of these places, and they would all get bundled up together to be with all of the other dolls, and you give your thanks to them for looking after you in your life, and then they get either thrown away or cremated, I'm afraid. I have a nice picture that might have traumatized some of you from the other day, but I don't think it's too deadly. If you'd like to see that, you can. Oh, Dawn has her first 2 teddies. I had my first ever teddy. I brought it to Japan, but very, very strangely, someone wanted to buy it for a lot of money, even though it was dog-eared. So I've made myself a replica, and I sold it, something I wouldn't have done, but I was offered a whopping great £500, which 200 no, 300 no, but 500 500 was a yes. I decided to do it as long as I could make a representation of my teddy first. So I did. What a strange thing that was. Just a second. I can hear people coming down, so I'm getting a little bit distracted. 1 second. People coming up soon. Rather. Just a moment. So here we've got a lovely kimono in a lovely joyous pink for Girls' Day. That's all right, Jean. Thank you very much for coming here. If anyone is leaving, then please consider leaving a tip or leaving a review or both. That would delight me. You can retrospectively tip and review anytime. Excuse me, I'm just putting the tripod part on my gimbal back on. That would bring me a lot of joy and happiness and helps contribute to my costs today, and my time encourages Heygo to keep having me on board and encourages me to keep coming up with new tour ideas and gifting my time to you. So thank you very much if you decide to do any of those things or share pictures online. Thank you so much, Jana. I appreciate that. Yeah, really beautiful, isn't it? You can see gold lace as well. Not gold lace, sorry. Gold thread has been used, but it looks like lace. Very, very wonderful. We've got lotus flowers here and cherry blossoms and autumn leaves, momiji. So it doesn't look like a 4 seasons kimono, but I've already spotted 3 seasons and the rebirth of a phoenix in there. So that's pretty impressive. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Thank you very much, Debbie. I know it's a bit of a pain tipping these days because the app, 3, 2, 1, and the website doesn't always work, but I appreciate you guys taking the time. I should imagine not by hand, but who knows? I almost went to touch that, but I know when I should and when I shouldn't. I don't know, I'm afraid. I bet it does feel lovely to wear it. And actually, I think that wearing kimonos feels a lot like being hugged. And seeing as I live in Japan and you don't really get many hugs, that's wonderful for me. Thank you very much, Linda. That's very nice of you. Right, let's go downstairs and see the more grand dolls. They're a little bit newer and some that are even older. And we saw them the other day as well. And then we'll finish at the temple around the corner like I did the other day. But thank you very much for bearing with the rocky movements sometimes as I try to manage notes and phone and myself and the gimbal all at the same time. Do give me a follow so that you're ready to see those amazing tours I'm going to be adding for this Saturday. And I've got loads of other great tours coming up coming up from next week, and then some incredible ones at the beginning of March that are going to be one-off and blow your mind. I boldly claim. Thank you, Marianne. Now, you can imagine this awning surround is a lot like a child in one of the countries that a lot of us are from, having a doll's house. But it's much more special. And also, you can't really touch it, which is a bit annoying, because we really want to, right? And let me tell you a bit about what we've got going on in this scene here. Classic emperor and empress, of course. And in the olden days, you might find these, in Tokyo, you might find these swapped around, so the emperor goes on one side and the empress goes on the other. But here in Kansai, it's pretty common to have them in this direction, which is a nod to the Meiji era of old, 150 or so years ago. But you see, there are snacks just here. Excuse my hand coming into the picture. Yes, you spot a Hello Kitty, or in Japanese, Kitty-chan. And you see on the front, there's a little emperor and empress as well, which is very, very sweet, and some other cute little snacks. All of the snacks around this time are generally based on rice crackers, which are crunchy, called senbei, and in little balls for, they're in little ball shapes for Hina Matsuri and similar things around this time. And they're all offerings for that luck and prosperity and hope for your children. Hi, Andrew. Nice to see you. So I'm going to read a little bit. Actually, I might move to a different location and read a little bit for you. There's so much to see. The location I was going to go to will be admired by this lovely lady here. So sweet. Did you see the elegant way that she sat down? I reckon she presents tea ceremonies, if I were to hazard a guess. It's the Japanese way of sitting down. I'm doing a version of it myself right now, but I didn't go down so flexibly as she did. Go down sounds a bit more like I've suffered, but I'm fine. You didn't hear any clicking in my knees. It's amazing, Linda. Linda says, I can't imagine going down that smoothly, let alone getting back up. It's amazing how smoothly they do go down. That sounds like I'm pushing them, but I'm not. Quite somber faces on these ones. Just bear with me. You'll just fall down. Just stay there, right? Just stay there at the end. So in Japan, there are actually 5 seku, which are seasonal holidays and festivities. And they were coined around 400 years ago in that Edo period. And in particular, these dolls for Hina Matsuri can be made of anything. They could be made of paper, cloth, wood, and they were created, as I told you earlier, to ward off bad luck. And personally, in what I believe to be a celebration of Japanese craftsmanship, these dolls these days have become very, very ornate. So over time, they've just got more and more decorative, I think. Before, they were a lot more, I'll show you the oldest ones by the door in a moment, but a lot more humbly made, clearly with things that someone had around their house, which I think is very, very wonderful, but much more... What's the word? I can't have all of the words at the same time. It's actually blue, silver, and orange, Andrew, but I'm kidding. Yes, gone with black and red. Rudimentary might have been the word I was looking for in my head. Linda told her students she needs to retire now because her knees don't work anymore. Well, it happens. So if you guys want to celebrate this kind of thing, you don't need to go all out and have these dolls, which, by the way, cost a fortune, almost $1,000 for one set of an emperor and empress, the same as a Japanese school bag, but we won't get into conversations about that. A big old debate. And Lisa has made her own origami display. If you came with me to some houses the other day, you would have seen that some were even made of acorns, pine cones, which is very lovely. And on these displays, you see these little diamond stacks of rice. These represent rice. My hand's coming in again just there. And in the middle, little cups that have things like sake. It could be alcohol-based or non-alcohol-based. Fermented rice becomes things like amazake, which is made from rice, can have alcohol or not, and is slightly yogurty in taste. And if you've ever played a game called Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, which is a wonderful game that's primarily on the Switch, then you actually get to make that yourself as well as grow the rice. So never let anyone tell you that video games are bad for you, because you can learn a lot. Most of my history has been learned from playing civilization games, and I'm pleased to say I passed tests knowing things that I knew from games like Civilization. But Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, you can grow rice and learn some things about Japanese culinary ways and other mannerisms, as well as every process of growing rice just from a video game, which might not sound so great, but it is. It's outstanding. And Jaguar loves playing Age of Empires. Exactly. I love this little set through here. Oh no, the screen has fallen down. So Linda asked earlier, is this, or someone asked earlier, if this is a house that's still actively used. Maybe it was Sandy or someone. Or is it a museum? And it is a museum where you can even see that writer that I told you about earlier, Shigeru Tomomura. So you can enjoy the space as a museum, as I'm sure you can imagine the signal drops quite severely in there. So here you can see me and him in the background, or one of his later ancestors. What do you say if it's ancestors forwards? I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know much about these ones with the dogs, but I'm fascinated by them having dogs. I think it's pretty great. And I love these ones. There are a few different sets of the ladies in waiting just here. This one is playing a koto, a Japanese instrument, just that. Now, if I could draw your attention to any of my tours coming up, it would be, maybe there's a cherry blossom one that's called the White Heron Castle. It's actually Himeji Castle, which is said to be the most beautiful castle in all of Japan. And not only that, but in cherry blossom season, it is meant to be one of the best sites in the entirety of Japan. I'm going to take you there once only. So if you see a tour of mine that's listed as White Heron Castle, it's got lots of bookings, but not as many as I thought it should have. So either I need to change the wording there, or people need to be told about it. But the first time I saw koto being played was when I went to a parade. It was at Himeji Castle. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I'm really looking forward to going to see Eriko. I'm also going to go to a tea ceremony with Eriko, so that's fun. Thanks, Andrew, for the little cherry blossom. We've got another little view out here. Look, his books? Yeah, Ikara. Especially as they're at sensible times for you, Kenji. Yeah. I love the angles from everywhere in these old merchant homes. So, March 3rd. Oh my goodness. Oh, I just need to say, it might not matter to some of you, but I was just about to say something. So March 3rd is Hina Matsuri, but this is March 8th, so this is International Women's Day. So I just wanted to say Happy International Women's Day to everyone that's important to. I know that's not important to everybody, and it doesn't really matter, but accidentally in my life, some pretty major things have happened on this particular day, where my friends have been safe and protected when they've really needed it. So for me, it's important. And in Japan, on the 5th of May, you have Kodomo no Hi, which is Boys' Day. And later on the 19th of November, there's International Men's Day. Boys' Day is also called Children's Day. And they're also already available in the shops to buy big shields of armor and things. Everything's very, very traditional here in Japan. And yes, it's already tomorrow where I am. Thank you very much for being in my defense quickly just then. Now, I don't do this normally, but should we get a little Heygo message in the guest book? I think, there you go, that's the weight of me just clambered down there on the floors. And I got a tip from Hadrian. Thank you very much, Hadrian. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to put a heart. And I just wrote over someone else's, so that's the level of respect I've got. Anyway, arigatou gozaimasu from Heygo and Kendall. Signed King Koopa. You asked for it. Anything can happen here. King Koopa. Anything can happen on Heygo, Andrew. That's very basic Japanese that I wrote there. Very basic. I was worried if I wrote kanji it would mess up in front of you guys, but also I didn't need to. This is note. Thanks, Marianne. We've got some lovely things out here, and then I'm going to take you to see some koi at the temple before we disappear. Thank you very much, Patty. Here's some smaller dolls. Let me get focus over here. Come on, focus. Look at them nestled. They look like little thumbelinas hanging out in bamboo. How sweet is that? Actually, there's an old story about a little princess that's found in bamboo. I think it's called the Princess and the Woodcutter. Lovely. There's so many nice things. So many nice things. And a lovely tick-tock clock. Yeah, Korean is meant to have one of the easiest writing systems. Jaguar says, I want to learn Japanese after I've learned Korean. The writing is so daunting. These ones are not for sale, but at some of the other houses I saw in the entranceway, there are some little ones for sale. But around Japan, I can look out for this kind of thing. Linda, you're one of my sponsors, so my sponsors get me as a personal shopper. So if that's one of your wishes, I can keep my eyes open for it for you. And if anyone's interested and thinks that's something you get for free, it is not. You have to pay for it, but I don't make money from it. It just costs me time and brings you happiness and costs you money. But yeah, I can keep my eyes out for things like that. How do you know all this stuff? I often forget how to use the oven. Well, I learned through seeing, hearing, doing, and I might not get to learn Japanese very fast because I speak English all day at work and I'm not allowed to speak Japanese. But what I can do is ask my students lots of things about Japan. So I learn things that way, to be honest. But learning from books is a bit difficult for me. It goes in and then just flies around in my head until it's gone. So look at this. What a cool doll's house to get to have. Anyway, let's say arigatou gozaimasu to this space. The date has been changed. There's a beautiful view here. I like this angle. Always learning, yeah. Korean is one of the easiest alphabet systems to learn, actually. It was only invented about 100 years ago. I haven't learnt it. I don't practice Korean, but thought you might be interested to know that. The lovely illustration back here. When I first saw this, I thought it was one of mine because it looked so similar to something I would draw, which I think my friend Andrew Foster in the chat would be able to adhere to. Is that what I say? See, doesn't mean I know normal language. There we go. It looks so much like something I've drawn, doesn't it, Andrew? Andrew is a wonderful artist. He lives in the UK, so I'm going to go to see him soon. Here we have an old Japanese kitchen. 65 right now, Hadrian, but yeah, 107 overall. Had about 150 on my tour the other day. But I hope at least as many come to part 2. This was your recap tour, okay? Part 2 is going to be new, special, interesting, different, and lovely. So I hope you'll join me for that. Look at the way the light shines through the windows. It looks like a very, very old painting, in my opinion. And this is my favorite view here. 3, 2, 1. I have to show you this lady. Isn't she gorgeous? Oops, not with the gimbal in the way. Three, 2, 1. Okay, quick look at the koi in the temple, guys. There's a little tour outside. Need to draw some power cables in to complete it, yeah. Oh, nice. You and your sister watch Korean survival shows. Thank you so much, Barbara, for your tip. And again, if you guys are my sponsors and you would like copies of these and something similar to this, I have them and I will be sending them to you with your daffodil hand-painted sumie Japanese style cards that I make. So thank you very much if you have sponsored me, and I get 75% of your sponsorship as well. It's a beautiful day. I have to go to work for a really long time after this. Work is from about 1 p.m. until almost 9 p.m., which kind of sucks, but it's got to be done. So let's just have a little look at the koi in the temple and see if we can spot a couple more of these lovely cuties outside. Hi, Brittany. But this is the 75-minute part of the tour. That's it. Finished. So if you would like to go, that's fine. But if you would like to see some of the rarest koi you'll get to see in their golden yellow hues, then follow me over here, especially if you'd like to see an amusing sign that promotes tobacco, like it's the best thing going, which I think is pretty funny. Hi, Brittany. Just at the end of the tour, this is bonus 5 minutes. Oh, Patty, you were actually in Japan. You even signed the guest book, my friend. Patty says, thank you, I feel like I was actually in Japan. Good, that's my mission. Thanks for following me, Brittany. Keep a close eye on your inboxes, guys. I'm going to be going to Yokohama to see the largest Chinatown in Japan, and I'll be going to Tokyo. I'm going to meet Eriko as well. I'm hoping to take you to see the Studio Ghibli clock that ticks and ticks. Do not be late for that tour if you see that listed, because it is an on-time important thing. You're impressed that Andrew appreciates this old style stuff. That Andrew Foster is a friend of mine in the UK. He's a bit older than me. But any other ones in the chat, I might have to tell you about later, Gregory. But yeah, nice day, nice smoking clean. I do not agree with this sign, but still. We have found quite a few extra little cuties around today, haven't we, Lisa in particular? Lisa loves finding these guys. I know lots of you do too. But we found quite a few extra ones. How lovely. Let's go and see. Oh, it's a day out. So nice. Konnichiwa. Oh my gosh, guys, cover your eyes. So big. Oh, this one looks like a little zebra. A yellow one. Oh, cuddles. Some baby classic ones. Konnichiwa. And there's a gold black lacquer one coming in just a second. Cover your eyes. Zoom. Hey, you got the warning before I zoomed. Okay, I'm waiting for the special black lacquer one to come. Come on. Konnichiwa to the koi. I'm terrified of the idea that they might jump out at me because I'm pretty grossed out by fish in general. But let me try and get you some of those magic shots from above that make it look like you're really in the pond. Ta-da! Ugh. Well, Dawn says she wants the tickle one. I think Dawn might need a checkup from the doctor. I'm kidding, Dawn. I'm just not on board with that. Oh, the big black one's coming. No, fish are not my friends. They're not my family. They're not my friends. They're not blood relatives. They're not anything. But they are looking pretty spectacular in your shot right now, guys. So I hope you're enjoying that. I've got to get a bus before I get a train back to work. Yeah, so many. The really special one is sort of there, but there's another one. There's one that's hiding. They're not so cute, Jaguar. They're all right. And that's me having come a long way. Okay, here's your black lacquer special. I'm sorry the doggies have made such a mess while you were touring. But thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the koi. If you want to have a look inside the temple area and see the lovely mural that's there, you'll have to come with me tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next week on Friday, I'm afraid, to see part 2. My goodness, the size of these guys. They're like, they must be as heavy as my thighs. Pretty thick beasts. All right, everybody. You've all been really lovely. Thank you very much. Don't forget, tip and review anytime you like. It's a lovely little message for me if I see a tip linked to this tour anytime. And reviews, I was overwhelmed just yesterday. I saw, I think, 6 retrospective reviews from different voyages, and it just brought me a lot of joy. So thank you very much. And yeah, I look forward to reading those. Thanks so much, everybody. Yep, Kate, thick beasts. Loved by some, but not by everybody. Look how close those ladies are getting to the koi. They're different. I cannot do that. Thank you, everybody. Please follow me, linktr.ee/MissKendalJames. Ta-ra!